Morning, everyone. Welcome to live chat. And I think that this should be interesting. Um, I've never done it before. And certainly, I'd like to see how many people come on. It gives us a bigger view, it looks to me, of what I'm looking at. And I don't see anyone yet, but it's before 11 o'clock. So, welcome. There's so much to talk about, and I bet everyone is wondering, and I will not tell you the entire topic until we get to 11 o'clock, which should be in about 1 minute. But since I couldn't wait to get on, um, I jumped the gun a little bit, so to speak. And here we are. It looks like this camera is really sensitive. Uh, in order to be on, I have purchased the Apple 8 Plus, and it's amazing, really amazing. It holds its charge. It's got a battery pack that really and truly does last for 12 hours, and it wasn't so expensive. And let's see, it's 11 o'clock. Okay. So I don't know who'll join us at 11, but there's a lot to talk about. 2 million people are indeed being held hostage. You have almost 1 million folks from the Federal Employees Union who are forced to work without pay, and this is 1 month. And I don't know if anyone is aware, however, baggage handlers who work for aviation, they only make $7.25. So it's pretty dreadful what's happening. I certainly would like to see people on here. I know this is difficult because we're not on Periscope, where there are all kinds of notifications. I don't know how to do that with YouTube. But I will tell you that we have big problems in America, but they can all be solved and resolved. And one of the reasons I want to attract 1,000 followers, probably 100,000 if I could, and millions if possible from around the world, is because though we are not accomplishing very much here in America with our bickering and our divisiveness, they certainly are accomplishing a lot elsewhere. And they are moving ahead with infrastructure, with alternative fuels. China is trying out no less than, I would think, several, at least 20 prototypes of alternative energy. Technion is there so that they can look at alternative energy and see how they can improve their emissions, since they cause 28% of all the emissions on the globe. So I have great faith that they're going to be going with thorium, which is a fourth generation reactor that requires no storage of any materials. It degrades in a couple of decades. Anyone who does join, and I see somebody has, hey, ask a question, because this is indeed live chat. You've asked me to go to YouTube, and I'm on YouTube. And this is a first for me. As I said, it is the 8 Plus. And if you're wondering why I am here. It's because of you. And I hope to achieve at least the minimum of 1,000 followers so that we can be super chat. I can monetize this program, and I could then travel to the countries that we know have achieved excellence in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The Far East is my first destination because I really believe that's where most of the improvements have taken place. There, evidently, when it comes to healthcare, all you have to do is look at Japan and South Korea. When it comes to education, you got to look at Singapore and even China. I am still corresponding with my friend in Beijing, and she is going to be teaching 14-year-olds English. So they are very seriously competing. Look what they've done with their moon launch and quantum physics. They will be the leaders in space if we don't really wake up from our slumber and our love of fossil fuels. I understand it's not easy to separate ourselves from fossil fuels. I mean, we've got trillions that will have to be designated for infrastructure and climate mitigation. And you're going to be affecting the fossil fuel industry, the automotive industry, the steel industry, so many old industries. However, I do believe that we will benefit from it all in the end, because you will be developing new industries and you'll have new ideas. So holding on to the old ways is absolutely not the right thing to do. If there is any right or wrong, it is holding back progress. And we are doing that today. And that's why I want to see what's happening in the other nations. Are they holding back progress too? I know women marched in 89 different countries. Our march was divisive. We have Women's Inc., and we had the Women's Alliance here in New York City. Basically because the Women's Inc., which was the original march, embraced Farrakhan, who is anti-Semitic, and also excluded the LGBTQ community. So we had two marches. It would be better if we all women marched together. In the other countries, they were delighted to march for their freedoms, and they were happy to be women and happy to bring their daughters with them. It had taken on a new meaning in 89 other countries. And I want everyone to know that on this day of Martin Luther King, the Girl Scouts are being very progressive. They are indeed offering a badge in cybersecurity, and I think that's wonderful. So I was hoping people would join me. I don't see too many folks. I will continue for a few more minutes, and then I'll leave you guys and women and be back on, I would believe, Wednesday or Thursday. And as usual, taking up whatever the challenges are of our day. Once again, I think it's egregious that 2 million people are being held hostage in America, because it will indeed affect the general economy. There's no question in my mind that will be affected. Uh, Already, the streets of New York are fairly empty. So we have a problem with the weather, and we've got a problem with the shutdown. And this is dreadful, and there's no reason for it. DACA kids should indeed have a path to citizenship. Those folks on permanent temporary visas who have been here for 30 years should absolutely be allowed to stay and not worry about deportation. Trump wants a barrier of some sort. I'd give him a barrier, but I'd do it so that we all agree it's the right way to go. Border communities that have seen, I guess, an endless supply of refugees coming to their communities, they already have barriers. So I guess what we need is more border patrols, and we need humane policy on the border. And I don't think you're going to get any of it by going to Trump himself, but you could get it by speaking to your congressman and getting him to or her to acknowledge that you do not want to see the shutdown continue. It's not good for anybody. Martin Luther King certainly would not have approved that this was happening today in our world. We should be moving forward. So I hope with my first broadcast, I don't see anyone joining, but I will be back on, let me see which day, so I can do it for sure. I'll be back Thursday, and hopefully more people will tune in, and I'll have news to report to you, because I intend to be contacting the folks that I met on Lobby Day to see what further can be done in New York State, and also how I can achieve the goals that I've set out for me and for you. Because if I learn, and when I learn, you will too, because I give you that as the benefit of all my knowledge. This is for you, as well as for me. Thank you, and I hope you'll watch the replay at some point in time, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy your families. Don't be silent. If you see injustice, speak up, because only speaking up will get us the freedom and the liberties and the wages we deserve. Thank you. Well, I've been asked, do I want to stop streaming? I could talk to myself for another 15 minutes. I don't know. We can try and see what happens if somebody comes on. I think I left enough clues all over on the on my WordPress blog, on the notes that I left about Martin Luther King, but I don't see anybody. So one person I think is here, and one person likes the program. But certainly I'd like to have an audience that that would interact with me. That's why I wanted to do the live chat and the super chat, to engage everybody in discussion. And I don't see that happening. I see one person, and I don't even know who that one person is. If they could write me a comment, that would be super, because this does the same thing that Periscope does. It allows you to comment, and it allows me to answer your comments. So please, if anyone has one, I'd be delighted to answer. And as you know, this is facts. I only speak about facts. And since I don't see anyone, and it is my objective to see people, I think I will indeed end the stream. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day, and I'll see everyone on Thursday. Bye now, and God bless you.